The reality is that most of us were lied to by the media about President Trump. And if you just go back to the source material, you should take away two things. One, he didn't say half the things he said. And two, why did these other people just fabricate what they wanted to say so that they could essentially assassinate his character? I think that that second thing is completely unacceptable in America. And there's still been no repercussions, really. I took the time to learn about it. I admitted where, the way that I met him was I admitted on the pod, which, has millions of viewers. And I said, I got it totally wrong. Because I went and I watched Charlottesville. And the first person to call me?
Who was it?
President Trump. And I got to know him. And I put the phone down. I called my wife and I said, we got it totally, totally wrong. We were lied to. And then I got to know him, and he is fantastic.
So wasn't exactly an even trade, but for President Trump, it was pretty even.
He usually comes out on top.
Not usually, always.
Always. What are we looking at here? These look exquisite.
Yeah, so these are the displays of our currency over the years. Some of it, like we used to have silver certificates. We used to be backed by silver, sometimes gold. And then in the 70s, we just went to what was called fiat currency, where you didn't have to keep gold or silver in the vault. If any of these are still outstanding, though, the silver or gold for them is at Fort Knox, waiting for them to be claimed if so needed.
Have you visited Fort Knox?
I haven't. People on my staff has. We're going to the Treasurer's office. The Treasurer has been to Fort Knox. And I am happy to say all gold is present and accounted for. The U.S. has the largest pile of gold in the world, over $1 trillion at current market value.
And we're getting more gold from Venezuela.
Not too bad for a day's work, huh? Over $1 trillion. On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, and we've got so much, of course, to talk about. A lot is happening. The world is, in chaos right now, really, in a weird kind of way. It's like all under the surface, right? All ducks on a pond, if you will, right? The analogy, I don't know if you've heard it before, but right on the surface, everything looks chill, but underneath, they're just like little feet are going kind of crazy. So we are in that place. He's saying the gold's there. I don't know. I trust Scott Bessent. I don't think it actually matters that much in the big picture. Where we're going, what's up, and again, some of the. I don't want to get off to the woo too far right now. Way too soon for that. By the way, apparently it's super cool when you burn down your entire city, when you win or lose these large soccer or football matches, as they're called. What I do think is really funny is Spain beat France. So let's just wait. You watch. Wait until you start hearing stories about how NATO's going to kick Spain out. You watch. Spain's been talked about. Here they just, spaghetti-o. President Trump on FBI looking into Lindsey Graham. Again, this was that misquote. But I like his answer, so it even kind of furthers my argument that I've been making.
Are you aware of why the FBI is looking into Senator Graham's death? Have you gotten any updates on why they were at his home?
Well, I don't know why, because I think, he had a problem. His father had a very similar problem, as you know. It's very unique. At first I heard it was clogged arteries, because he did have clogged arteries. He had a problem with that. He was, I wish he took better care of himself. I say, you can solve that problem, but what happened is actually something that's very hard to detect. It was not related to any blockage. It was a totally different thing. And supposedly, and I've watched all the medical reports, I've had the doctors from the White House come in and explain what happened. And this is something that is almost undetectable. And if it happens, there's not much you can do about it. It sounds unfortunate, but there's not much you can do about it. If you look at his father died of the same thing at about the same age. So there was not much. They say it's almost undetectable. You can detect it by if you have a very bad back. That's a sign. It's a bad sign. So if anybody has a bad back, it's a pretty rough thing to think about. But the fact that's one of the primary signs. And he would tell me he had a bad back. But little did anyone realize it was for that. So, and when that bursts, which it did, it burst. There's not much. So I don't see a lot of evil there. I know there's all sorts of conspiracy theories going along, and I don't think the FBI. I think the FBI is wasting their time if they're doing that. You know?
Yeah, the bad back thing. That's such a weird, like, oh my God, WebMD. Can you even imagine the crazy shit? How many people are going to be like, oh my God, I've got this happening to me, right? Like, my heart's just going to explode? Hope not, but it's a quick way to go, folks. I mean, when you think about dying, sometimes, I mean, in our sleep is ideal, but, you know, something overly traumatic, you're just like, oh, it hurts. And then you're like, oh, this probably isn't good, right? Like, and within a small period of time, that window, now you're talking to angels. It's cool. It's cool. You're going to go home. Ron Johnson, Senator Ron Johnson's kind of saying that it doesn't look like, and I said I 10-eyed this. It didn't find anything, but it looks like, it looks like they maybe morphed out the drinks they had in their hands, but this sure does look the same. So AI did something. There's some small modification. They had to fix the shirt, and the shirt looks weird. So that's totally AI possible. What I thought was strange, one, I changed the bottoms, and the way the bottom of the shirt is different, and the hands are different, I guess, too. So I'm just wondering if, who knows? I feel like Mitch McConnell he's a senator. He looks like this probably every time he smiles for any picture, right? I don't know. And why didn't she give us a better view? Just teasing, of course.
Now.
He was asked about this, Senator Johnson. And again, he's on the list of potential of the five. He's one of the five that I consider. I don't know for sure, but he's on that 5 list. I haven't extended it to the, I've said before, up to 10 maybe. I doubt it, but Fetterman's on. He's at least a 6, and he's in there. Like, Fetterman for sure. I like Lurch. We got to keep him around. He's a good guy. We need somebody that still wears sweatshirts and probably can shoot some hoops, right? I hope he can anyways. Anyway, here's Johnson talking about
the election. Now, Mitch McConnell. Can we talk a little Mitch McConnell, too? Because I saw a picture that I'm not sure I believe is actually Mitch McConnell from the hospital after what I've heard and what I've seen. Do you believe Mitch McConnell is the one who said, I'm okay, here's the picture of my wife, Elaine Chao, and I in that hospital bed?
Well, I just heard from some other source that was an older photo. So I really don't know. I haven't talked to Mitch. I certainly wish he and his family well. I hope he can recover. It's sad to watch people age, no matter who that person is. I've served with Mitch McConnell for 16 years. Okay, obviously I disagree with him on a host of things, but I also know he loves this country. He loves the Senate. He reveres the Senate. And so again, I do try and put the best construction on things. I try and look for the best in people. Mitch McConnell also loves this country, so I wish him well. I hope he recovers. I hope he can come back and contribute and vote with the president's agenda.
So I don't know about you guys, but that has the whole entire feel to me of like, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's dead, or I've heard he's dead. I think he's dead. He's probably dead. I think I said that, but he's a good guy. He loves America. Did I mention that he loves America? Because he's really frequently talking about how he loves America, even though he loves America with that traitorous wife. He loves America with that wife that immediately ran to China, but he loves America. I got the home to a new and good shining space. Oh, my goodness. Freedom's light burning warm. God help us all. Freedom's light burning warm. I want to talk about OTF special. I love these guys, and we got new video, too. I love this. Insulin resistance, key. The foods they feed us are so bad for us intentionally. There's chemicals in there that act like other chemicals, but they call it no calories. So we're like, it shouldn't matter. It fudges up our bodies a lot. This is something that, in a weird science way, without changing anything in your life, other than kind of committing to drinking powder in water 3 times a day, that's really delicious. I actually look forward to it, by the way. I love it. It helps. It gives me energy. It is just like, it's in it. Like I said, it helps with some of the other habits in my life. It just kind of balances out my body in a very cool way. And balance, oddly, is the one you do right before dinner, if especially you're on the side of wanting to lose a few pounds. Balance helps so much. It's a fibrous mixture that's got all sorts of science baked into it, helping with this insulin resistance problem we have. And again, without changing anything, you're going to notice that things are going to start to improve in your life. You're going to have less cravings for snacking. You're going to have weight changes. And for a lot of people that are A1C concerned, have been seeing numbers change without doing anything different. Anything different. It's an amazing product. You want to go to otfspecial.com. You want to go to otfspecial.com. We got this new video. I want you to check this out because this is pretty freaking cool.
How's the energy today, Dad?
A little slower. I'm still moving.
Are you taking care of yourself?
Trying.
Dad, that's what you said last time.
Soph, I mean it this time. It's changing lives. It's helping us change lives. OTFspecial.com. OTFspecial.com. You will notice a difference. You will feel a difference, and you'll start doing different things just because you feel different. You're losing weight. You're able to get around easier. You're feeling better. You got grandkids, you got kids. OTFspecial.com. It's an awesome way to start. And again, they got a money-back guarantee. They got a 60-day money-back guarantee. You got 2 months that if you seriously like, damn, this is bullshit. All right. Don't use those words per se, but you know, these guys are sensitive and they're really nice gentlemen. Don't say that to them. They're mean. OTFspecial.com. OTFspecial.com. Make that difference. You got nothing to lose except gain, right? All right, communism's a big problem. I don't know if you guys have heard. It's on the rise. On the rise. Mike Johnson talking to Speaker Johnson, I should say. There's so many Johnsons out there, you know, right? I mean, shoot, one pecker, they've seen them all. But here is Speaker Mike Johnson.
It's in their platform. They want to remove the carceral state, they said. No prisons. They don't want to fund the police. This is not a game. Everybody needs to understand. These crazy little mini Mamdanis who are popping up all around the country, they are a danger to you and your family. This is not a game. If they promise you free stuff, there is far more beneath those promises that even some of these people do not understand themselves. And so we are here as the Republican Party to stand on the founding principles of the greatest nation in the history of the world. It is our duty to do that. And we're doing it on behalf of all of you, even the journalists who don't agree with our policies all the time. You better agree on these principles, because it's what keeps you free. By the way, it's what keeps the press free, okay? This is essential for your well-being and your family. This is not a game. This is not our father's Democrat Party. We're not arguing over marginal tax rates anymore. We're arguing over whether or not freedom is going to survive. And that's why we're so serious about this.
We've talked a lot about how cities are going to burn. Specific numbers are always in question, and it actually can change and might change and whatever. Burning is metaphoric to a point. Already we've seen major damage done and fraud and all sorts of crazy stuff happening. Los Angeles for sure. Seattle for sure. Portland for sure. Already know it. What, Chicago? We've got, Baltimore? We've got D.C. Well, D.C.'s not going to happen. Take that one back. Remove D.C. Trump fixed that. Sorry. Right? What, there's got to be something in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, right? That one probably sucks balls right now. New York? Oh my God. New York's doing everything they can possibly do to destroy their state. Gavin Newsom we know as well. The communism's taken hold. If you look at the most progressive states, and you look at the governors of every one of those states, every one of those governors has been to China. Been to China. It has to happen that way. It has to happen so they show everybody. I'm literally going to China. I'm doing it on a beer baba. Learning how to do the Chinese dance. You know how Chinese are famous for dancing? No, they're not at all, in fact. I'm sure some of them can dance, don't get me wrong, but that's not what they're famous for. Ping pong, they'll kick the shit out of you, man. They'll ping pong you to death. Don't even go there. But that's not always how things work in real life. Democrat Rep. Mejia dodges on if she thinks it's okay to deport people with deportation orders. This is on NBC. They even asked a second time. I'm going to play it. I probably shouldn't.
Death and murder. Just to clarify for our audience your position, if someone is here illegally, if they've had a deportation order, do you believe it's appropriate for ICE to remove them?
More than anything, I believe in the Constitution and the fact that every single person in these United States has a right to due process and equal protection. So I would like to see our government actually adhering to the Constitution. I believe that we need to abolish and replace ICE. Of course, we need to have a system, an immigration system, so that we have the safety and integrity of our nation at the forefront. But the bottom line is these practices are putting every American at risk.
You've seen that there are Republicans who are running in swing districts.
I'm not playing all that. Jesus, I didn't realize it was fucking 8 minutes. The Constitution. Here's the thing I'm asking. I guess I'm wondering, like from the Dems' standpoint, maybe I could turn my camera on. Who knows? Is it okay so to give, everybody in the entire planet our constitutional rights? Is that what we're to assume? Everybody on the planet gets our constitutional rights, wherever they may reside at the moment. Or are there levels where that starts to come down? Because if you're not a citizen, you don't get our rights. Hello? That's how it works. Well, that's racist, Dan. Okay. I guess. For sure. Super racist, probably, huh? The extra special. Racist, that's hairy. Like hairy racist, probably. I'm just trying to make it grosser. I don't know how to. Meh. China's mass producing drone parts. Literally, Alibaba, you can buy them anywhere. Many of these Shahed drones, just buy them online. They're not expensive. You've probably got to deal with your own explosives. I'm sure we wouldn't be okay with them just shipping weapons to, Bob, though I think mine's supposed to arrive tomorrow. I'm totally kidding. I don't. Why would I have a Shahed drone? That'd be weird. I don't actually have one. I'm just fucking with you guys. I apologize. It's just so much fun. Life is too good to not have fun sometimes. Here's where New York is straying, maybe. I don't know. We got to wonder. Blowback, yeah, that's what we can call it. It's against data centers. So New York, Kathy Hochul is now telling everybody in the state, look, moratorium, 1 year, no data centers, period. Data centers are going up everywhere. Contracts for data centers right now are happening. This AI concept that everyone's making a big deal about, wherever you're on the spectrum of, it doesn't matter. That is the big deal that's happening right now, right? Period. End of story. And they need the backup, they need power, and they need data centers. Boom, there you go. This idea of putting data centers in space, if you think about how large, just keep this in mind. Every time they talk about this, it cracks me up. They're put data centers in space. The size of a data center is not the cooling system at any stretch of, it doesn't even matter. The data centers, the computers, the racks of literal physical computers, and those get hot. They're working hard. You need a bunch of RAM. You need central processing units. You need CPUs, right? You need those kinds of things. You put them in a rack. You put a bunch of them in there, and you just got rows and rows and rows of computers. That's a data center. Now, they make noise, whatever. They use power, yes, crazy. And especially as they cycle. And that's one of the problems, I think, really, that they're working on figuring out how to buffer that. Because when they speed up and slow down, that's one of the things. You could have a data center that's very directly tied to a lot of AI connections, and then it's used heavily, and then it's stopped for a second, or 10 seconds, or a minute even. And all of a sudden, you've got this, you just lack a draw. It's really hard to compensate for that. So you need something that can, and again, I'm not an expert, obviously, in electricity, but I studied some of this stuff. It at least took a semester of the physics of it, which was good. So, yes, they're going to kill themselves. Here's Trump talking about it. It's a bad idea for New York. New York just shot themselves in the foot. It's on fire right now.
From the grid, and now you have these very rich companies headed by lots of geniuses building electric plants. Because of that, we are leading China by a lot in the AI race. Now, it's mostly the two of us. Other nations are in it, but mostly. And whoever wins the AI race, and we're going to win it. I mean, if we're smart, we're going to win it. If we're not smart, we're not. But we're leading by a lot. We talked about that last night. President Xi was very surprised at how well we've done with AI, because they thought, when it started, they took this gigantic lead. And we now we are substantially ahead of them in AI.
But do you think there'll be some buy-in, set up guardrails or something?
I think there could be. We talked about it.
I'm glad he covered up Brett Burr. Still mad at him. Still mad at him from 2020, Brett Burr. I know you're not in charge. I know, but still not giving you a pass. This was put out by Truth Hammer, and I love it. Truth Hammer, first off, I just love the name, so good job. So make a list of all the influencers telling lies that there is a provision inside the NDAA. I think it's the National Disclosure or somebody of it, whatever. But inside the NDAA that OMG merges the Israel and U.S. military. These people are either dumb or liars. None of them, right? None of them are good for you and shouldn't be influencing anybody. And what they're talking about is all these people that have been saying that there's this merge that happened with Israel and the United States that somehow is going to be furthering this weird view that a lot of people have. Can I try to stay a little more open-minded? There's a lot of things going on. So many people do zero-sum thinking. I just can't. It's hard for me to even deal with sometimes. So whatever. That's one of the problems. That's one of the ones they're dealing with, is that little yes-no binary thing that's still in the programming kind of needs to be updated. So this is what they're speaking to. Wherever you're at on it, so it's up to you. But they continue, and I thought they made a good point, and I'll do my best to read it well. In the past, when a U.S. defense contractor and an Israeli defense contractor chose to work together on a piece of technology, they were free to make their own one-off arrangement agreements. Sometimes these were black budget programs, and Congress, White House didn't even know the CIA or Pentagon was doing that shit. Think of a general running an under-the-radar project because nobody told him he couldn't. When this passes, a project framework will exist. There is zero obligation to run joint programs, but if people choose to do a joint project, it can no longer be under the radar. It must follow the rules laid out in this bill. While the losers are screaming the sky is falling, Trump just forced any such programs into the light of visibility so decisions can be made about which ones to allow and which ones to quash. Depending on the subject matter, other import-export information restrictions may still apply. In these cases up here, there's an asterisk next to something, but the management of such programs, it's all ad hoc and it was untraceable. So anyway, whatever the case is, people that want money now have to submit new rules. We'll see how many of these programs continue. So for all the people that were pissed, Trump, it's actually the opposite. Trump just brought to light all of the nefarious deep state stuff. He's drying up those funds now. And those funds dry up quick. They need money badly. They bleed money. We all know that. Maybe Lindsey Graham gave up a lot of dirt. Maybe. He probably knew a bunch of stuff. Chris Wray and Chris Krebs both lied. They knew Iranians breached U.S. election systems in 2020. They stole 100,000 identities and then posted video online of the stolen data being used to create UOCAVA ballots. And they hid this from the American people. Not only that, people lost their channels and were arrested for talking about it and trying to go against this machine. So these two guys, the FBI and Chris Krebs, what was he, Seiss, I think. All of this is unsealed. I don't know, do we play this? I don't want to play all this stuff just to demonstrate it, but yes, all of this stuff was said. These people are frickin' giant-ass liars. They're lying sacks of poo. And we'll see where any of this goes. It's so frustrating because most of the time, right, we hear about it, but I mean, I think it's part of the grand conspiracy thing, so I do think it bakes in, but then why are we hearing about it? So, maybe it's leaks. Who knows? The House, there's these two things. I never understand these when they come out, so I'm just going to read them and just pray they're accurate. The U.S. House has just advanced forcing the Save America Act into must-pass national security funding legislation on top of stopping the seasonal clock change. This is what this person said, right? There was a 215 to a 211 vote on this one, on agreeing to the resolution. And then there's, I guess, the passage. Is that agreeing? You vote to agree, and then what? You vote to pass? How does... Fuck, our government makes no sense. I give shit to the Brits, but fuck, man. Maybe theirs is starting to make more sense to me all of a sudden. Ours is all, wait. So you pass a, what was it, a motion? A resolution. Was that like the Diddy party beforehand? And then the night, why am I sore? Weird. I don't know, whatever. This one passed with different votes, 308 to 117. And this making daylight savings time permanent. So is this just agreeing to it? Because they said it was in there, the clock change. I hate these fucking posts. I don't understand. I'll get it there someday, maybe. Senator Johnson announces he's going to spearhead Senate fraud hearings. I want to hear it. I like Johnson. Again, he's one of the guys. Benny's cool, too.
If Thursday night, and I'm sure you'll be watching along with us, but if Donald Trump does bring the receipts and the evidence on Thursday night, and it sounds like they're really getting ready for a massive bombshell here, and it's found out that some of your Senate colleagues did engage in or have been elected illegitimately, what will you be calling for? Will you be calling for potential removal from office?
We have to wait to see the evidence, but at a minimum, I'm happy to hold a hearing to lay this out in all its gory detail. The president will obviously take the time he's got, but a Senate hearing I think would be completely appropriate once we have that evidence as well.
So you're going to spearhead the Senate hearing based on when you see the veracity of the evidence that President Trump has. You would be the person spearheading that because that's what you did in the aftermath of 2020 in the first place, correct?
Yeah, listen, if Chuck Grassley and the Senate Judiciary wants to, Chuck and I do, we've been involved in joint investigations in the past. We'll I'm sure work cooperatively in terms of, again, we have to see the evidence first before I really tell you what we're going to do. But no, this needs to be made public.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Well, thank you, Senator, for fighting on this. I think you were the first and the strongest and the loudest voice on all of this back when it would get you canceled and back when it would get you deplatformed. And you were canceled and deplatformed, actually, if I recall correctly. You have been stripped off of social media for all of this and for speaking the truth. So everybody follow Ron Johnson, a man who fights for the truth here. He has 700,000 subscribers. You should be one of them. Thank you, Senator.
Have a great day.
Fantastic. I'm not one of his subscribers, but I should be. You're right. As he said, I should be. We have, like I've always said, it matters what people are doing now. I don't give a crapola what anybody did 5 years ago. I really don't. It really makes no difference to me. It doesn't make any difference to me, honestly, what anyone was doing a year ago. I hope and allow people to change. I'm hoping people change. I'm counting on people changing. And they will. Oh, they will. Not by force. I just know they will. Trump posted this about good old Mike Lindell. Love it. Go to mypillow.com/OTF. Did I just throw that in there because I should? Yes, mypillow.com/OTF should always come up in conversation when necessary, right? That's what mypillow.com/OTF would do. Anyways, Mike Lindell, the Pillow Man, and one of America's greatest and most hardworking patriots, is running to be governor of Minnesota, replacing one of the worst and most incompetent governors in the history of the United States. Early primary voting has begun, and if given the chance, Mike will be spectacular. He truly loves Minnesota, as do I, and he wants to bring it back from the oblivion and embarrassment. He can do it. Nobody has sacrificed more than Mike Lindell in fighting for our country, especially when it comes to election integrity. He truly deserves everything he gets. He will make Minnesota great again. Mike Lindell has my complete and total endorsement. He will not let you down. Good luck, Mike. President Donald J. Trump. Yeah, I bet she's hating life. 11-hand Omar's got to be hating life right now. Hating it. All right, ICE stuff a little bit anyways. ICE is halting. Anyway, there's this process, all right? 24 hours a lot, and I like to show the progression of the story, especially stories that literally change during the day. I find that to be even more fascinating. Like in the morning, it's like, everyone's gonna die, and then they're like, okay, maybe nobody, and then it's like, okay, so here's what happened. It's so fucking stupid, but this is the world we live in, and it's just fun to be a part of it. Anyways, thanks you guys for being here. Hey, hit the thumbs up if you don't mind, and subscribe on one of the actual channels too, by the way.
And we're also keeping a close eye on what's happening in Biddeford, Maine. There are growing protests in the street after the second deadly shooting by ICE in a week. Now, a change from the top, ICE pausing most traffic stops as a method of apprehension for now, until agents get increased training on these kinds of stops. According to sources, we're going to dig into exactly what's going on around that. Today, Homeland Security saying that the officer who opened fire in Maine yesterday was, this is a quote from them, fearing for public safety. We know that there are investigations that are underway right now into exactly what happened. Now, DHS says that last week's deadly shooting in Texas was self-defense after a driver rammed an ICE vehicle with his van. The 3 passengers say that the officer was not in front of the van. So there is a lot of camera. And
there is a lot of camera stuff, and I swear to God, I thought that was a reincarnation of Sinead O'Connor. It tripped me out. I was not ready for that. Anywho, yeah, we got Tom Homan that actually breaks it down a little better than that nonsense, but this is the bullshit that everybody's being told. Here's Tom Homan wow, being legit. I guess I can't make that bigger. We're going to zoom in the best we can. Anyway, here's Tom Homan.
Tom Homan. Tom, thank you for joining us. I want to start with you laying out specifically what is this policy change. I tried to sum it up there in the intro. Not sure if I got it exactly correct. You tell me, sir, what is the change and why are you doing it?
Well, that decision was made by the Secretary along with leadership at ICE. But look, it's not a policy change. It's a temporary pause. Look, we had the last couple of shootings, ICE leadership along with DHS believes they want to look at these last couple of incidents and look, is there something that could have been done better? Is there any training that can be improved? Or it's simply ICE doing their job and bad things happen when people don't comply with law enforcement officers. So I think it's going to be a short pause. And I'm confident that ICE is well trained in vehicle stops, and you're going to see us keep moving forward. But this is just a temporary pause where they look at the incidents. But let me say this too: I hear a lot of noise right now. This is going to affect ICE arrests, and it's not going to. Look, I've done this for a long time. You can when the alien leaves his home before he gets into the car, you can arrest him then. You can wait till the vehicle gets to the destination and arrest him then. Every case is different. Now, we know vehicle assaults are up over 3,400%. So if we can arrest that alien outside that vehicle and take that 2-ton weapon away from them, that's good in some instances. Other instances, we're going to still need to do vehicle stops or a significant criminal. You may want to stop him in a desolate area before he gets downtown. You certainly don't want to stop a criminal alien near a school that in the middle of recess with 100 kids on the playground. Right. There are so many circumstances these agents need to look at to make these decisions. So I do not think this short pause can affect the arrest, because the alien can be arrested before or after that vehicle. But this is, what I understand, talking to the director of ICE, it's a short pause just to make sure we're doing the right thing.
Well, let me challenge you a little bit, Tom, because in the more than 20 plus ICE ride-alongs that I have been fortunate to go along with and document and show our viewers and report on, the majority of them were done through traffic stops because, so that our audience understands, when ICE agents go out to make a targeted arrest of a criminal illegal alien, largely in sanctuary cities, they have to make an at-large arrest because the local officials did not cooperate to do the preferred method, which is in the jailhouse or in the court where it's peacefully done without a threat to anybody. But when it's at large, your ICE agents for years have preferred the traffic stop. When they come out of the house, they get in the car, it's a very controlled environment, and you have a car down the street to block, and it's pretty smooth unless they do try and flee, putting everyone in danger. But that has been the majority of the arrests I've seen. It is among your top operational methods. And so that's why I ask you, how does this not lead to significant arrest decreases?
Look, but bottom line, that's not a challenge, Grip. I just said there are options in addition to stopping the vehicle. There's an option when he walks out of the house, make the arrest now while you identify him before he gets in a 2-ton vehicle. If there are options, you wait till he gets to his destination, make arrest. I'm not saying this is a mainstay of what we do, vehicle stops. But the temporary pause is a decision made just to make sure everything's good. But, there are other options that I think will keep those numbers driven up. Now, a lot of people are saying, I read, well, this is another example of ICE not doing mass deportations. Look, do you know last month, ICE had the highest numbers of arrests in the history of the agency.
Right.
Higher than any time last year. So operations continue, arrests are at record numbers, deportations at record numbers. This is simply a pause, a decision made by the Secretary and ICE, just to make sure that the officers remain safe and things are doing well. I think at the end of this review, which would be a short review, ICE will be right back to doing what they do.
I want to get your reaction to reporting, Tom, that this is born in some way out of insufficient training for new ICE recruits and agents. You've obviously hired thousands of new agents in the last several months, and perhaps this was being done because there's reporting out there that insufficient training may play a part, and possibly in the case in Biddeford, Maine. What say you?
Well, it's my understanding the officers involved in these shootings are well trained. They're not a part of that new hires. I looked at just before I did this interview, Griff, I asked ICE to give me the training curriculum for the academy, and there's an extensive vehicle stop training, much like the Border Patrol has. So Again, we'll let this play out where it is, but I think ICE is going to continue doing record arrests, record removals, and this is, I wouldn't even call it bumping the road. I mean, this is going to be a short-term review, so ICE feels comfortable that their agents are safe, they're doing the right thing, and get back to, doing what they do best, which is, making vehicle stops. But like I said, I'll say it again, but there are options during the short time period to arrest a alien before he gets in a moving weapon and arrest him after he stops. There are various stops. I've arrested aliens in all sorts of conditions in my career, and every arrest is different. All the extenuating circumstances for that arrest are different. And the agents are well trained to make those decisions. I think they're making the right decisions.
Border Guard Tom Homan. Tom, my friend, thank you for coming on, taking some of the tough questions. We'll continue to follow it and see where it goes. Thank you, sir.
You got it.
Yeah, see where it goes. See where it goes. All right, reset back. All right, fantastic. So Trump, he put out right after that, men and the women of ICE are doing a great job, one that has to be done. Crime is way down in America, in many cases with numbers that haven't been seen in decades. The open border policy of sleepy Joe Biden allowed 25 million people to pour into our country unchecked and unvetted. Many were criminals, and we have to get them out. In order to do this, we must be strong, tough, and smart. Tricky. And we cannot give up on one of ICE's most important and effective crime-fighting tools, the traffic stop. Once we do, we are playing right into the criminals' hands. The radical left Democrats would like to see this done, but it won't happen on my watch. ICE be judicious, fair, and smart, and go back to do your very important job. Keep those crime stats records coming. Homan's like, no, it's not quite what that's going. But at the same time, Trump's like, want bigger numbers though, and if you're not doing this, then you could have bigger numbers. And really, sometimes while they're in the car is almost the best place to take them down, kind of, because they're not at a place where they could take hostages. So, I mean, again, Tom's right. Trump, they're trying to get, he posted this, they're trying to get Todd Blanche in. Hopefully, it looks like permanently. I was watching some of it. I think I even got a little of his speech, his intro, and then somebody talking to him. I don't remember what it is off the top of my head. But yeah, he's fighting hard. Hopefully, Todd Blanche gets in. I like him. I don't know. I like Blanche. I liked what's her face? Blondie. I thought she was all right too. I didn't have a problem with her. I think she was tied in with some people though, and I think it was going to be difficult for her to get through it from, like, she almost, let's put it this way. I feel like there's times where you got to recuse yourself, and I think that was what some of it was, frankly. She also had cancer, like others have experienced too. So there's been some attacks, I think, done. Or the stress, whatever, call it what you want. Man killed by truck while fleeing ICE agents. So this was in Florida. Dude was fleeing ICE agents being in the area. This is going to be the new one. ICE agents can't even be anywhere because they might cause somebody to be scared. Anyway, these guys, dude, in Florida, you got to be really careful. You go running off into some place where an alligator might be, and you're fucked, dude. You're either living without a leg or worse. Worse, possibly. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. Man killed by truck while fleeing though. So he like went running, and hit by a semi. Yeah, he didn't live. I don't know where they pronounced his death, but it wasn't. There was no chance. Legal immigrant trucker who killed 3 people here in California. Oh, the video, I don't have that. It's just brutal. It's brutal video. It left someone, 3 people dead. Just careens through people. I just want to play. It's just brutal. Just insane damage. He hit everything he could. It was. I don't know if he was trying or just the way it worked out or what. I don't know. When evil takes over, again, possessions are funny how they work. I always one of the best analogies, and I don't think it's how it totally happens, but it's really close. But like in the Matrix, you remember when like an agent would take over like a regular human, right? It just like suddenly it was in charge. I think that kind of shit happens sometimes, and people just get sort of taken over. I've seen some weird people. I've seen some weird shit. Been cool. Sheriff says Somali youth gangs are running wild in Minneapolis. Truth's coming out. People don't want to believe it, but anybody that lives there knows. If we can get a fair election, we know we're going to have a change with everything. It's definitely going to happen. Greg Abbott has declared a disaster for these horrible storms that's going on in Texas. Holy crap, check it out.
So we've had some really intense lightning that's developed here in Sabinal, Texas, where we are just in the last few minutes. So we're staying under cover for the moment, but you get the idea. You see the road closed sign here. There's some significant street flooding that has developed here. We've seen boats, rescue teams that are staged throughout the area near the creeks and rivers. The heavy rain starting to fall here again right now. And this is the second day in a row that this area has been under the strongest, most severe threat for flash flooding.
Terrifying flash flooding west of San Antonio. In parts of Uvalde County, more than 13 inches of rain have fallen in the past day. Several feet of rising water rushed through neighborhoods, surrounding homes and cutting off roads.
They refer to our area as Flash Flood Alley. So what might not be very flooded now, in 5 minutes from now, could be inundated.
Drivers got stuck in their cars as water quickly rose around them. First responders were able to get the people out of this minivan before it was swept away. These sudden, high-risk flooding events are rare, but they account for more than 80% of all flood-related damage. This storm system is similar to deadly flooding that struck the same area last July, killing more than 135 people, including 28 campers and staff at Camp Mystic.
When I went to bed and I saw the flood warning come up on my phone, it was like the first thing I thought about.
Every road into Annis, a small community about an hour west of San Antonio, was covered in standing water Tuesday, and there's concern there will be more flooding. Melissa Portis says she's lucky her family's home is on higher ground, but they'll be flooded in for days.
They won't be able to probably get out till the whole thing's done, and so they went and got, stuff they would need to be flooded in for a while.
Yeah, and this is how it's been for a couple of days now. The rain developing again on top of us right now, and the governor has already issued a disaster declaration for 59 counties here because of the threat of damage from flash flooding.
Yeah, we got a major stuff going on. I still think it's related to the magnetic field, but yeah, we're seeing some. I mean, we've had crazy weather, but we're definitely going through a crazy spell. We're supposed to be having this really bad El Nino again. How much of this is? Some people want to say it's all technology. Again, I don't. I actually think it's the sun. So there's a whole complexity there too with a whole group of people. So it's unfortunate. We are where we are, but something is causing this to happen for sure. We can agree on that, and that'll be our common ground, I hope, right? In Truciveway, California, they're going to target billionaires who flee. My favorite part of this whole thing is they're going to question whether or not they still live here. I know you moved and all your shit's gone, but are you really gone? Do you still live here? They're ridiculous. It's a shame when I don't turn the camera on. So this is what they're going to do. They're going to, and New York's probably going to try to do this too. Like, are you really gone? So they're going under like 5% of the billionaires that have already escaped, and they're gonna look deeply into it, deeply. Like maybe, okay, I think some of it's people that are like that move just cross state lines, maybe in like Tahoe. That'd be funny, because yeah, you move to Nevada, you just literally like move 2 miles. It's cool. They have a state line, or Harrah's and Harvey's right there at the state line, and south shore. Anyways, that's what I'm familiar with. Spent a lot of time up there. I love that place. Beautiful up there. So yeah, they're targeting billionaires. LA, they blew $60 million on homeless fix. This was Medium Ramen's fix. She's the person in charge of homelessness. She spent $60 million plus dollars, 62.6 if it matters, but $60 million. She was supposed to build all these apartments. Apparently, about 2,000 apartments was the plan. However, afterwards, $62.6 million paid. 3 apartments are actually occupied. All right, I bet you we're paying all those other people, though, aren't we? You have an apartment where you can take people, but you're not really one of the people because you're a friend of Medium Ramen. Oh, it's disgusting. Ruby Rippy Gibney. Yeah, you know her. She's the lady who supposedly had a little thing with Gavin Newsom, or had Gavin Newsom's little thing. And she's penning a bombshell story in Vanity Fair. Can't wait to hear about it. She's a looker, right? Whoops, I accidentally rubbed up next to you. Sorry about that. Probably didn't know. So she was always around, I guess. Sounds like she was thought highly of him. Or so, that's his wife, isn't it? Huh? Yeah. Wow, they look similar, doesn't he? He has a thing for blondes, apparently. Look at that. That's how they get them. That's how they get them. They'll get you with the ones that look just like what you like.
2 Florida school principals have been arrested for DUIs just hours apart in the same car. So the first person was arrested, this lady, she's a principal of a school. This lady here, the passenger, ends up 2 hours later driving the same exact vehicle and gets arrested for DUI. And she's also a principal of a school. This is down in Florida. Good times. Was it Florida? I believe it's Florida. Where was that? Orlando. There you go. The Orlando Sentinel. They always like to make fun of people. There you are. Mugshots. Well, she's got like them. She's like, yeah, what? So what did I do? I was drunk. I was driving. I was working at the time. I was in college. Heroes reveal horror that they saw as they dragged boaters from this ocean near Alcatraz. 1 dead, 3 still missing. They're probably dead, unfortunately. Catamaran type boat thingy. It was like pontoon boat, I should say. Let's call it that. It's a pontoon boat. That's what it was. Something happened. I've heard stories that it caught fire. I heard it just something happened and it started sinking. Whatever the case was, it started sinking quickly, like very quickly. Like it seems some people got trapped inside of it, couldn't get out quick enough. And that's yeah, so it's not cool. Not cool at all. Very cold waters. You guys ever heard the stories? Nobody survives the swim because it's really cold. Very frigid, super bad currents there. I mean, literally moving in and out of the ocean. It is super bad currents because it's just this funnel. So it's hard to swim across. Very hard. You're moving, I would say probably a few miles per hour. The current's very quick. It's probably like 2-3 miles an hour, maybe more, maybe even up to 5. But if you're trying to swim, that's extraordinarily fast. There's no way you're getting anywhere near where you're aiming for. Like you're going to end up way downstream. And it's freezing cold. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyway, it's bad stuff. Bad stuff. Tennessee, they're trying to poach Paramount Skydance from California. I think it's kind of funny. I mean, might happen. If the value of my home goes down, it will still be beautiful. I don't care what anybody says. I'm here. I love this place. I'm happy to take a loss if I have to. But I made a great choice. Great choice. Very happy. So, yes, Tennessee, take them away. I've been to Tennessee. Been there, done that. You guys have a good time. Enjoy it. It's very humid in the summer. You're going to love that. It's fun. So much fun. And the bugs. Yeah. Constitutional alarm been raised after the Department of Justice records reveal that Jack Smith got private texts from 14 lawmakers. The part I wanted to cover from here, so we've been covering this story, and I think I got one more thing maybe on it, but it's pissed off some senators. But they kind of break into the law of it. That's one of the things Just the News is really good about. But newly released records reveal the special counsel, Jack Smith's team, bypassed mandatory protocols to secretly access the private text messages of 44 members of Congress during the probe into President Donald J. Trump, the Justice Department confirmed Tuesday. The disclosure, confirmed by records released by the Senate Judiciary Committee, has become a major constitutional flashpoint. As lawmakers confront the reality that their private communications were accessed without following established filter protocols, the inquiry is igniting a broader debate over the separation of powers between the executive branch and the legislative body. Quote, communications from members of Congress pertaining to their official legislative duties are protected from criminal prosecution under the Constitution's speech or debate clause. This is all part of this stuff. It serves as a check and balance. So this is what this guy lied about in Congress.
Did the toll records that you requested from the senators, did they include the content of the phone calls?
No.
Did the records that you requested, the toll records from the members of Congress, include the content of text messages?
No.
Can you explain for us on the record,
Can you explain to me when you say no what you mean by no? Pretty sure you mean it differently than I do. Like when I use it, it's kind of the negatory. It's kind of like you said, hey, you're tall. And I'm like, no, I'm short. Like it's opposite, or it's ancillary. I don't know if that's right. I'm going to try to find other words too, though. I'll work with you.
Lying liar who lies. Senate Democrat blocks $1.15 trillion defense authorization bill. So again, I don't know what's going on with all these votes and stuff. So Tuesday, they defeated a motion to proceed to the $1.15 trillion annual defense authorization bill. This legislation, it didn't pass. Thune had to change his vote to no, so he's able to bring it up again. So anybody that's like, John Thune voted no, he changes it. I guess that's some stupid rule that allows him to bring it back up again. So for whatever reason, they don't want to give money. Like, this is the one thing the Democrats are like, just stop them any way you can. Stop. Oh, yeah, they're just trying to stop this train that's just chugging on, right? Like, they're like holding on to a train with ropes, just dragging behind it, just like, stop the train. It's like, bro, we're not making any real headway here, are we? No, it's not going well. No, not at all, in fact, some might say. Here's some, I don't know, Democrats have a kind of funny way of, well, politicians, I guess. Let's call it that first. This is that second tier of class people. They're like, look, I'm above the law, people. So there's this New Hampshire Democrat legislature, I don't know, she's Congress. I don't know if it's state Congress or if it's actual D.C. Congress. State rep Ellen Reed. She's a Democrat, so not that it matters. I think there's douches on both sides, but whatever. This one, she was doing 107 miles an hour in a 65 mile an hour zone. Sweet. Got busted and basically said she shouldn't get in trouble because she can't break the law when she's in process of going to work or coming home from work because she's doing legislative duties. Boy, that's a spin. So they're trying to get this up to the Supreme Court. I hope they say no and they fucking throw this bitch in jail for reckless driving multiple times, by the way. I think she was at 90 the next time. Some states are different. Here in California, they're kind of, it generally is over 100. Generally. I think there's places, though, it's like, over 40 miles an hour over? Or is it 20? Some places, I think it's different. I think it's different in different states. Always know the rules of your state, by the way, when you're driving. Nick Shirley and Senator Ron Johnson, they have some stuff in this chat today. I think I've got one more bit of video from here. Check it out.
Correct. I mean, $700 million in cash flowing out of the Minneapolis airport back to countries in Africa. Have either of you gentlemen kind of investigated the foreign sourcing or an organization of a lot of this fraud? I mean, we're opening it up to foreign governments to fund their own operations.
Well, yeah, it's been proven that a lot of the money in suitcases that left Minnesota went back into the hands of people inside Somalia. And for instance, in New York City, where I just did an expose exposing this adult daycare fraud, nobody at these daycares actually knows who the owner is. A lot of them had just been hired within the past month. In Miami, you have the Cuban government running these DME companies that are fleecing and quite literally looting from Medicaid. A lot of foreign governments have infiltrated our Medicaid because it's so simple and so easy to defraud.
By the way, we know it's $700 million because government watched it go out. They let it go. They didn't even put the IRS on the case. It's truly remarkable what we're allowing to happen here. So again, Mr. Chairman, I commend you, like Senator Ernst, for holding this hearing, and Ashley Moody. This is an incredibly important hearing, and it speaks volumes that only the ranking member showed up to denigrate Mr. Shirley's efforts. Quite honestly, that was why he showed up, and not one of them are here talking about these hundreds of billions, trillions of dollars worth of fraud.
Yeah, the point he's making is that none of the Democrats showed up for Nick Shirley being there. Damn, that's just look at her. What is it? One of the Trump circle there. Dadgum. Transgender, DSA, that's the Democratic Socialists of America, the communists that took over the Democrat Party. She's a transgender member of that party and a former Arizona Democratic Party vice chair. Well, she was arrested after, allegedly, we'll let her have her day in court, but allegedly, he or she went into the home of their ex with a knife and duct tape. For a little role play fun. Because that's what he told the cops. The cops, of course, are like, where were you last night at 6 o'clock? And that's what happened.
I had to. I actually brought my flashlight in just so I could do that. I hope it played because I couldn't stare at the camera. Anyway, she's I think got arrested because you can't do that. I don't think the person was maybe there either. So this is with their ex. They're probably a little bit like, oh, you're not the same sex I thought you were. Oh, gross. You still love me? Come on, admit it. Here's Todd Blanche. Here's his opening statement. I think we have one person he talked to after. Oh, Senator Kennedy. I always got to listen to Senator. I like Kennedy. He's just, if anything, entertainment. We keep him around, I say, right? Just like you need Grandpa to tell stories. Fuck, that's Kennedy. I love that guy. Love that guy. And if he should be related to Maha Kennedy. So we got two Kennedys that are going to regale us with all sorts of conspiracy stories. It's going to be good times, guys. Come on. Campfire stories. S'mores are going to be delicious. Trust me.
When a family can send their kids to school, walk their neighborhood after dark, and build a life without fear, every promise of the American dream is within reach. When they cannot, none of it is. That's my job, securing safety for every American. I'm pleased to testify again today to tell everybody here that we are doing just that. We are keeping America safe. Since President Trump took office, it's been said a few times this morning already, but it bears repeating, murders are down roughly 20% nationwide. We have the lowest murder rate since 1900. Violent crime arrests are up nearly 114%. We've taken almost 5,000 child predators and human traffickers off the streets. And the Department of Justice has filed nearly 100,000 indictments and informations since January 20th, 2025. Additionally, in just the last 4 weeks, in just the last month, we've paid $96 million in claims through the Public Safety Officers Benefits Program to eligible surviving families of fallen public safety officers, even while fewer law enforcement officers were killed in the line of duty than the prior years. And obviously, these are not just numbers. Each one is a family that still has its son or daughter and an officer who came home for dinner. If you look at Washington and Memphis as examples, where we have worked with federal, state, and local partners, pulling thousands of criminals off the streets in those two cities. Homicides in D.C. are down about 60%, and overall crime in Memphis declined by more than 40%. We've seized thousands of illegal guns, brought more than 150 missing children home in those two cities, and cleaned up parks and spaces family once avoided, so you can take your kids and loved ones there once again.
What the hell is up with this little child that they've got some prosthetic thing going on? What the shit are we doing here? This child should not be at a congressional hearing for any reason. They're not a prop. For any one of you people that talk about for the kids, this kind of shit shouldn't happen. What the... It's for television, I know. Doesn't make it okay. That's why I left Netflix. Cuties. It's a show sexualizing children that's about how children are sexualized. Please explain that to me like I'm a 2-year-old. Well, 5-year-old. Play maybe. I want you to use colors and maybe letters and stuff. I got some skills. Let's do this. Senator Kennedy, talking to Mr. Blanche.
Have you ever seen a president of the United States appoint an enemy to be Attorney General?
I have not.
Usually they appoint their qualified friends, don't they?
Yes.
I mean, one president appointed his brother, right?
He did, Senator.
And I can think of another president who appointed his former law partner. Is that right?
It is correct.
Okay. Are you responsible for all the president's decisions?
No, Senator, I'm not.
I mean, does the president get up in the morning and and give you a call first thing and say, Todd, tell me what I ought to do today?
He does not.
Does he ever ask your opinion on actions he should take?
Yes,
You tell him the truth?
every time.
Have you ever disagreed with him?
Yes,
And have you ever disagreed with him and he did it anyway?
yes,
And did you go call a press conference and announce that the president made a bad decision?
absolutely not.
That's not what attorneys general do.
Correct.
Okay. Has he ever asked you to do anything illegal?
No,
Would you do it if he asked you?
absolutely not.
Okay.
Crazy scenario. I don't know. It just popped into my head and I'm wondering. Right? Todd Blanche, important guy these days, of course, right? And he's at home, whatever, right? And he's like, I got to hop in the jacuzzi for a couple, I just want to, relax, need the jets on my back, whatever. Goes out, jacuzzi. The second he pops down, right? The second he starts squatting, bring in the background, fudge. First off, he's pissed because I didn't bring the phone with me. Rookie mistake. Damn. Second, guy got to get up and get the phone. So he gets up, gets the phone. Now I'm wondering myself, did we just blanch Todd Blanche? You tell me. Was it worth it? Fast food giant under investigation, possibly Taco Bell. They don't know for sure, but yeah, they're having a major outbreak with stuff that's generally in greens, and this is specifically in Michigan. Specifically, the type of people that would eat at Taco Bell. No offense to anybody that eats Taco Bell. It did actually make me crave Taco Bell, so please resist, guys. But it did make me crave. But their food's strange. I don't know. My body's, I'm not sure if I could even handle. Anyway, doesn't matter. There's a big problem going on. It's affecting one town, apparently, in Michigan. Or a small area, anyway, in Michigan. 4,000 people. Got some problems, if you will. I want to tell you guys about the Root Brands. It's been a while since I've talked about these guys. I love these guys. TheRootBrands.com/Dan Radio Style. They got a whole bunch of killer products. Well, awesome products. They're not really killer. Because that's like California talk, but it's not really, it doesn't sound good. It doesn't market well. These products kill you. 100% of the times they're killer. Woo! Yeah, and people are like, I don't want to die. Well, no, it's killer. It's like totally, like you're like surfing the thing, right? And you're into it, and it's like, it's gnarly. That doesn't help. That said, it's an amazing product line. TheRootBrands.com/Dan Radio Style. I missed the 0N. I definitely need to get some. There's been a bunch of times where I'm like, it's just an easy go-to if you need a little bit more energy. It's got some caffeine. It's got some other stuff. It's very simple. It's actually very inexpensive too, by the way. So super cool on that. Sculpt is really good for working out, giving back my youth. Collagen, colostrum supplement, super good. These things need to be mixed. Keep that in mind. Immune Defense is another really, really good one. Restore is a liquid pouch thing that just got like supports your gut biome. It supports a lot of actual things in your body. Healthy blood pressure, like just kind of good elements to have floating through your body. Let's call it that. They've got a whole lot of great stuff in here. Relive Greens, krill oil, Crush. They've got the Clean Spirits, which actually a lot of this stuff helps like kind of help you deal if you're somebody that like me drinks maybe a little bit. This actually helps, especially day afters if you have a tough one. Good Morning Minerals is one of them. Rather than having to start drinking in the morning, not always the best way to go. 0N is great. They've also got this Clean Slate, which is just good at removing toxins from your body. It just drops. It's up there in that apple cider vinegar, but it's got a lot more going on with it. But you'll get that experience from it if you've ever done that before. It's just like, oh, really? I got to do this to make myself healthy? Oh, I'll die instead. No, fuck that. Oh. It's not quite that bad. It's a little better, I think. But yeah, that vinegar stuff is tough for me. Anyway, great products. There's a whole bunch of different products. They have a catalog. They've got it by different ways: wellness, fitness, coffee, beauty, animal health. They've got all sorts of good stuff. Go to the Root Brands, and literally for animals and stuff, they've got this weird. Check it out. If you got an animal and a pet, they've got some really cool stuff. They got some technology. There's stuff for the coating, the spray that helps keep some of the crazy world stuff off them. There's some really groovy shit. You got to check it out. They seriously, they are fun. TheRootBrands.com/Dan Radio Style. Sponsor code Dan Radio Style. I think if you're doing the if you're buying it, I don't know what questions they ask you. It's been a little while. Like I said, I got to do the zero in, and I'm giving myself credit when I do. Yeah, I'll let you know here soon. That said, it's been a while since I talked about them. I put them on my other channel, but I wanted it to be here too. TheRootBrands.com/Dan Radio Style. Healthy choices and stuff like that always makes a difference. All right, what do we got? Let's see if we can do this. New York millionaire exodus is costing billions. They figure all the people that are rich that have left the state, it's cost them about $10.7 billion. That's essentially the skinny of the story. They're making bad decisions. PayPal, their stock went up a bunch. Apparently, there's the discussion that they might have a buyout happening from Stripe and Advent. This made me, we'll be curious to see what's going to happen here. Stripe is one of the few that allowed me back after PayPal kicked everyone off. I am curious if Stripe just says, hey, too bad, or if it sort of lets us have our PayPal accounts back, those of us that got kicked off. I'm curious if Stripe ever gives those back to us. Or you can resubscribe. I don't know. I think once you've been kicked off, your email's kind of soured. So it's, they hit me on, I didn't realize how many places I made PayPal accounts over the year. They got all of them. They went by bank account, I guess. It's the only way I can figure, because they're all tied to the same bank account. Which, again, I just didn't know. USDA lets loose 400 million lab-bred flies. They have hula dresses and Asian flies, they're saying. That's at least the ones I've heard about. Yeah, they're trying to sexualize the other flies, trying to get them excited so when they have sex with them, there will be no screw worms from the screw, right? They have the screw and there's no screw worms. But there's a screw worm problem they're concerned about. I think these three things kind of thread themselves in a little bit too, which is weird. Anyway, it's disgusting. Like that. I always love disgusting things. A man was shot, 160 people. This is, by the way, in a country where no guns are allowed. A man was shot, 160 people were arrested as riots erupted across France following the World Cup loss. They were apparently a little pissed off. See? British people? Everybody knows when us French people are pissed off. And shitty accents. Iran war ends 23 years of U.S. military presence there. If you think about that, that's kind of like, that hit me. I was like, wow, didn't even think about that. Think about how much money we've been dumping into that nonsense over there. How much bullshit, how much CIA, how much control, how much, who knows? Oh, my Lord. That's going to be huge. And then now we're kind of broing up with Iran in a funny way because their leader was just here. And their border with Iran might be very strategically interesting for us at the moment. So probably discussions Trump was having along those lines as well. That will be running strikes and stuff across, boots on the ground, but would never admit it. So this will be your teams that will be doing operations, right? Which ones exactly? Everyone's like, that's going to be Team 6. Who knows? Who the fuck? Delta's in there too. Fuck, who knows, man? I don't know. They're going to do some crazy shit, probably. I assume any actual leaders at all should be very concerned about their lives. That's all I would say. If you are any sort of leader there of anything, like the book club, I would be so fucking scared right now if I was that. I'm just saying. Just FYI. For all the people, obviously, that are listening there where they have no internet. Trump gave Saudi Crown Prince green light for attack on Yemen's Sana'a airport. Supposedly he said, yeah, bomb the shit out of him. Fuck yeah, I love it. Love it. Now, what I did find interesting is we're not hearing Israel bombing anybody, are we? Israel's officials are trying to push U.S. refueling tankers out of Ben Gurion Airport. They've been pissed about this. This has been growing, whether it's going to get to any place. We've got because of Lindsey Graham's death, we've got Bibi Netanyahu is going to be coming out here. So supposedly he's going to be chatting with Trump when he's here. He's going to be here Saturday night, I guess. We'll see if they try to like pass some sort of like, we're going to arrest him. Oh, I can't wait. U.S. and Iran exchange heavy strikes for the 5th day. So a lot going on. Trump had all sorts of, like, we're going to hit the crap out of them. Like, we're going to hit them. I think next week he's saying we're going to hit your power plants. So, like, he's giving them deadlines. He's like, here's what we're going to do. You don't negotiate? We're not. We're done. We're done with your bullshit. We're done with this, hey, let's tip dance a little more. And we're like, ba-boom. Well, what were you saying? I'm sorry. Hey, let's sing a song together. Ba-boom. I'm sorry. I can't hear you over the explosions of these bombs blowing your shit up. What? So I think we're waiting for them to, I don't know, stop their performance. They got a repertoire. I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out how many acts they've got available to them. Maybe some of them are better than the ones we've seen thus far. That's always my hope. U.S. CENTCOM said, we are launching all sorts of strikes, waves of strikes, waves of delicious strikes. It is weird how some of them, it just seems like the gun's still firing, but maybe it was like that Russian gun where the dude just, and he just goes, it was funny ass video. That video made me laugh. There's been a couple good ones lately. This one's, supposedly we hit in Chabahar, which is supposedly a important town in southern Iran, like I think kind of far away from, the whole Strait or the Gay of Hormuz. I don't know what it is anymore. No one knows really, right? We're so confused. The confused Hormuz. But yeah, they're a deep water port. The only one they got in the Indian Ocean that's not in the Gay of Hormuz because it's not safe there. Well, I guess we supposedly struck it. Now, they said we hit this tower. I'm going to argue that we didn't hit the tower. We hit something by the tower, because if we hit the tower would no longer be present, or would be falling, or would be, well, what we call toast here in the Western world. So, there's that. I'll probably get in trouble with this one. I am using this to demonstrate that the tower was not hit, even though there's claims that the tower was hit. So this is fair use. I plead to the people that will not allow me to do this, that, yeah, we should not do that. But anyway, the tower does not go away. Tower's still there. Tower's still there. Tower's still there. But the smoke seems to linger, like like gas sometimes, Like when you fart in an elevator, or you fart in an aisle in a grocery store. You ever done that? Oh man, that'll haunt somebody. That's for sure. That's not funny, is it? No, probably not. Farage, he's been bombarded with farts. No, he hasn't, but he's been bombarded with death threats. Probably worse, maybe. Anywho, they've cut his security. They're doing exactly what they did to Trump. I mean, let's just be honest. They're doing exactly what they've done to Trump. They hate Bibi. 500,000. A whole bunch of households are dropping the BBC in Britain. Like, it's just crazy out there. BBC's losing people left and right. We've got Pouty Face here, leading leftist lawmaker attempts to blame online hate for the Whitcomb killing. Online hate, which is from the left. You are the haters who hate. Look at that pout. Look at that pouty lip going on there. You would never Botox that bottom lip. God forbid you lost the ability to pout. Fuck, you pout your way out of fucking God knows what. She's pouting superpower. She is the powder power. I have no idea what this is, but drone attack. Supposedly there was a place where they were smuggling in drones to attack Russia within Russia, and they found them. I'm assuming this is where they blew them up or something. That was very strange. This video doesn't make any sense. The places where the fires start, and there's like two people standing out there doing like I feel like it's a music video. This is very strange. Whatever the hell. Maybe that's what they do in Russia. All right, they just do the stand. All right, it's important. U.S. nuclear scientists facing espionage charges in China despite Trump intervention. I guess this is Yaolin Chen. He's an American researcher accused of espionage in China, faces potential life sentence or the death penalty. Likely would get smoked, but they might be nice and keep him alive forever. Torture. Yeah, this is unfortunate. Very sad. His wife's unfortunate. None of this is good. Dude's practically my age. Very unfortunate. Dying is such sweet sorrow, they say. And so is pole dancing, by the way. I don't know if you guys know. You should check it up. One thing you want to be careful about is sprinkler systems. Apparently this lady in Texas ate some tacos, I'm guessing. Maybe a few tacos. And she's trying to buff up on her pole dancing skills. Hey, look, here's the thing. Economy's tough these days, man. You got to make a couple bucks, right? So got to learn some new skills. I'm learning 3D printing. She's learning pole dancing. There's nothing wrong. It's the way it is. But anyways, check out how her lesson goes. It's fantastic.
Say we're 2 or 3 steps here. That is when the arm starts to wrap. That is when you're pulling too much, and go again. So keep leaning away from the pole, looking at that top wrist, and you can readjust that hand.
I'm just figuring she's probably bummed about her hair first. That's gotta suck. But on top of everything, I guess that's you shut the building water off at that point, right? There's no way around that one. That's woo. Now that's fantastic. She jacked her whole apartment. So I guess the lesson is don't stop pole dancing. No, keep pole dancing. But just be careful, man. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. Pole dance with responsibility. A lot's going on. The world's crazy, and I don't know. I'm having a good time talking about it, frankly. I'm not even surprised anymore, almost. I think things are going to get so ridiculous. I am so looking forward to Trump's speech. Today is Wednesday, yeah. So Thursday, tomorrow, maybe today for you, but Thursday I will be live streaming. It's the plan. It's to take the White House YouTube feed, and I will stream, and we are, we'll hang together. We'll see what the hell. I don't know. I'm excited. I don't want to get oversold on this one. Typically it's what's happened, but I hope he's about to tell us some crazy shit. Gabbard disappeared a little bit ago, right? Like a whole lot of things. I'm very curious to see how this plays out. Super excited. Hope you are too. The world's changing, guys. And you guys are the ripple makers. You are the ones that make a difference. Where we go one, we ripple all. It's on the Fringe with Dan RadioStyle.